In this short walkthrough, we'll solve a common OHST noise exposure question step by step. Our goal is to find the worker's total noise dose percentage and determine whether it exceeds OSHA's permissible exposure limit, 90 decibels for 8 hours with a 5 decibel exchange rate. This is a fundamental calculation for the OHST exam because it tests your understanding of quantitative exposure evaluation under 29 CFR 1910.95. In this step, we're figuring out how long a worker is allowed to be exposed to a certain noise level before reaching a full day's dose, what OSHA defines as 100%. The formula is T equals 8 times 2 to the power of 90 minus L divided by 5. The number 8 is our baseline because OSHA says a worker can be exposed to 90 decibels for 8 hours and still be within limits. The L represents the actual noise level the worker was exposed to, and the term 90 minus L adjusts the time depending on how far that level is above or below the 90 decibel baseline. Finally, the number 2 and the divide by 5 come from the exchange rate. For every 5 decibel increase, the allowable time is cut in half. You can see that pattern in the chart below. At 90 decibels A, it's 8 hours. At 95, it's half of that, 4. At 100, it's 2. And at 105, it drops to 1 hour. Now, let's walk through the math for the first level, 92 decibels. Start with the same formula. T equals 8 times 2 raised to the power of 90 minus L divided by 5. Plug in 92 for L. That gives us T equals 8 times 2 raised to the negative 2/5 power. When we calculate that, 2 to the negative 0.4 equals about 0.7579. Now multiply 8 hours by that number. 8 times 0.7579 equals 6.06 hours. So, at 92 decibels A, a worker can only be exposed for about 6 hours before reaching a full shift, 100% dose. That 6 hours is the allowable time for this sound level. Let's do the same thing again, this time for a lower noise level, 87 decibels. We start with the exact same formula. T equals 8 times 2 to the power of 90 minus L divided by 5. Plug in 87 for L. Now the exponent becomes 90 minus 87 divided by 5, or 3/5. That's 0.6. Next, 2 to the power of 0.6 equals 1.5157. Multiply 8 hours by that number. 8 times 1.5157 equals 12.13 hours. This means the sound is low enough that a worker could be exposed for over 12 hours before reaching the limit. Remember, quieter levels give you more allowable time. Louder levels give you less. Now that we've figured out how long a worker could be exposed to each noise level before reaching the limit, the next step is to calculate how much of that limit they actually used. The OSHA formula for dose is simple. Dose percent equals 100 times the sum of each measured time divided by the allowable time, or in symbols, C over T. C stands for the worker's measured exposure time at that sound level, and T is the allowable time we just calculated in step 1. Let's start with the 92 decibel exposure. The worker spent 6 hours at 92 decibels A, and the allowable time at that level is also 6 hours. 6 divided by 6 equals 1, or 100% of the allowable dose. Now for the 87 decibel exposure. The worker spent 2 hours at that level, but the allowable time was about 12 hours. 2 divided by 12.1 equals 0.165, or roughly 16.5% of the allowable daily dose. So this worker has already reached a full 100% dose from the first period and added another 16.5% from the second, and we'll add those together on the next slide to find the total exposure. Now we simply add the dose percentages from each noise level. 100% from the first period plus about 16% from the second equals roughly 116% total dose. Any value over 100% indicates the worker has exceeded OSHA's 8-hour PEL. The worker's total noise exposure is about 116%. That's above the OSHA limit. Because the permissible exposure limit corresponds to a time-weighted average of 90 decibels A, this result confirms overexposure. On the OHST exam, always interpret anything above 100% as exceeding the PEL, triggering the need for controls or enrollment in a hearing conservation program. In practice, exceeding the PEL means action is required. Start by evaluating engineering and administrative controls, for example, isolating equipment or rotating employees to reduce exposure time. Ensure appropriate hearing protection is used and properly fitted, and conduct follow-up training and audiometric testing. For the OHST exam, remember, recognizing an overexposure isn't enough. You must also know which control steps follow according to OSHA's hierarchy. If you found this walkthrough helpful, subscribe to Field of Compliance for more short, practical OHST study sessions just like this one. Every week, we break down exam-level topics, from noise exposure to air sampling and incident analysis, in clear, real-world terms. Hit subscribe, stay current with your safety knowledge, and keep turning field experience into compliance confidence.